Hi gorgeous people, welcome back, and we're going to do an SRT clearing today on radiation. I was looking at a video the other day which a colleague slash friend sent to me, and they were talking about how radiation is one of the worst things they found in people out there in the world. They're bioresonance people. And so I thought, oh, it'd be a great idea to do a clearing on radiation. So set your intention to receive the benefits of it. Ensure you're 100% open to receiving the healing. And shall we get stuck in? Let's go. Right, here we are. I've got a new pendulum. Look, it's one that won't break. I went through, I think, 2 more crystals since the last time that kept bashing against these. But I've got myself this. I think this one's either rose gold or copper. One of them's copper, one of them's rose gold. Look at these beauties, gorgeous, aren't they? Radiation. Let's get going. Sort of chatting, Caroline. So, what's radiation running at? 10% positive. 40% negative, so not too bad. And in terms of consciousness, we're at ascended master status, which is down here. So we're just going to ask the high self team, your high self teams, to do a clearing, initial clearing on this, bring it out to 100 positive, down to 0 negative, not to radiant love, new paradigm level of consciousness, for your highest good always. Hope you're all keeping well. Thing is, we all use so much electrical equipment nowadays. So we've got everything from, let's just shine a bit more light on the charts. We have everything from using our mobile phones, the PCs, you know, everything is wireless. You don't know what else is out there, do you? But there's all these masts everywhere. It's just, you know, our body's absorbing all this stuff. So it's a good idea to, whenever you can, get out in the woods and hug a few trees and leave your phone at home. Stick it on airplane mode when you're not using it. Just little things like that will make a difference. Nature is a great healer for balancing the electrons as well. So it's a hot day today, so I'm doing this. It's just read 31 degrees centigrade in my back garden. So I've come indoors. So I was sitting outside reading some stuff for work. And yeah, very hot, very humid. Right, okay. So where are we going first for radiation? Chart 5. Which is blocks and interference and negative motivations. Anything on the inside? Separates coming out interesting. Type 1 or type 2? Type 1 separates, okay. We're just going to ask that they're all cleared. I'm not going to go into how many because this is a group clearing. And we're just going to ask those type 1 separates are cleared and removed, that they're also cleared themselves. At all levels of consciousness on chart 3. So type 1 separates are souls who have left the body and reached the level called 1, which is just above ascended master status there. There are 70 offices in which they can work and 70 levels of consciousness to accomplish. However, some souls choose to return to earth vibrations. They desire to help people or cause problems to someone they feel has harmed them. Unfortunately, they do not help, but hinder. If they stay in the earth vibrations for 42 days, they become earthbound and cannot get free. Someone has to ask that they be cleared, removed, and returned to the spiritual realms, which is what we're doing here. Some enter the earth vibrations and attach themselves to a person practicing SRT. They want their programs cleared so they can move on to higher levels of consciousness. Separates are sometimes hard to find, and they will interfere with working with your high self. So that's from the SRT course, the SRT books by Robert E. Detzler, The Freedom Path and Soul Recreation. And he founded this system, so full credit to him. Fantastic system, very powerful. So what are we on now? Looks like 6A. It's sort of between 6A and 6B. 6A, yeah, I usually get a feeling. Inside our, so we've got failure energy there. And does the failure energy have past life and ancestral roots? So let's clear it all at all levels of consciousness for your highest good, master programs and discordant energy. (8A), which is inner archetypes. So the adult archetype needs clearing. So let's clear the blocks to the adult archetype, all levels of consciousness on chart 3. Okay. Chart 10A, which is miscellaneous blocks at God level of consciousness. What do we have? Inhibitors. A lot of inhibitors being removed at the moment, so let's clear those away from you at God level of consciousness. Inhibitors were put there some time ago to control the emotions, so that the emotions didn't overtake the soul, so to speak. I'll read you what it says in the book. An inhibitor is anything that tends to limit or inhibit our full spiritual potential or expression of life. Inhibitors were set up to discourage the soul from incarnating, and inhibitors were applied to the emotions by God in an attempt to limit their destructive potential. Unfettered emotions of the inhabitants of Moldek destroyed the planet, which is now the asteroid belt. The emotions are creative and can be used to heal. As we learn to properly use the emotions, we want the inhibitors removed so we have full access to our healing and creative potential. And they've been coming up a lot recently, so I've been removing a lot with people. Right, where are we going next? Chart 13, which is programs before creation. Let's have a look and see what comes up there. This is at King of Kings level of the soul, which is like the egg and sperm level of the soul. Infinite levels before thought. So we're just going to clear those away. All that away. And infinite levels before thought symbolize that thought has a source, something that existed before thought. That's when we get onto those higher levels of consciousness, and that's King of Kings level, which is, as I said, the egg and sperm level of the soul, the equivalent, if you like, during the creation of the soul. Okay. And 14, which is the pre-fall of consciousness, creating the illusion. We have a misuse of energy in creating, and we need to rebalance the etheric body. So we're just doing that now for you. Chart 25, which is final assurance. Final issues we need to clear, so let's just clear those away. And this is just a taster, really, of the SRT clearings that I do for you individually. They're much bigger. The individual clearings are much more, obviously they're concentrated on you and what needs to be removed within you, and they tend to be very subtle. I mean, sometimes you can have a huge layer that's cleared with SRT clearings and it's like, oh, where did that emotion come from? Some of you have already experienced that even with just the group clearings, and other times there's a much more subtle shift. You just feel that something shifted, but you don't know what. Like, you can't put your finger on it, but it has this knock-on effect. You can see the change that takes place when you look back over the months that follow. You can go back to when the SRT clearing was. So it's not always that you get this big, oh my god, that's cleared and that's all done and wow. It just depends how much you're carrying in certain areas anyway. But it tends to be, on the whole, usually quite subtle changes, subtle but significant, if that makes sense. You will notice changes over months and following years. You will definitely notice, and your mind will get quieter and more peaceful. It's a bit like defragging the computer. You know, it's that same sort of effect, really. It's clearing the traffic away from the mind, all those obsolete programs and programs that aren't serving you, and at higher consciousness levels as well. So, but occasionally, as I say, we do get, yeah, I've had some big things shifted from me, which I've been quite amazed at, actually. So, it doesn't happen every time, because it just depends on the individual. It depends on what else is running, how many other aspects are feeding into the issue, and so on. But the wonderful thing about SRT is that it's one of those healing systems that sort of complements all other healing systems. I think we need to clear Godhead plans right now. So so it's great. This isn't the only way that I work. I work also one-to-one online via Zoom or Skype, whatever suits you. And I use all my tools really online, so I don't tend to use the SRT online. I use a combination. So I'm a for many years trained hypnotherapist, NLP master, theta healing practitioner, EFT practitioner, transpersonal hypnotherapist, past life regressionist. I'm a medium, psychic. I've done EMDR and the Silver method and all these things. There's loads of different things, and I've been doing this for a long time. And I kind of combine them and work in my own way. So we do very much work very spiritually and also with your subconscious. when we work online to shift the underlying, not just the belief systems, but the emotions whilst you're online with me. So if you want to invest in yourself and take your transformation to a deeper level, then I would suggest the Essential Package that I have, which has 6 remote SRT clearings in it, 1 brain restructuring, 5 one-to-one online sessions, and up to 3 bespoke hypnotherapy recordings for you as well. So it's great value, that one, it really is. But have a look at my website and yeah, see what grabs you. Chart 28 is Final Forgiveness. So is it memories? Memories here. So let's just clear those memories away, most likely from the cell structure. Okay, we're done there. Right, anything else? No. Should we go to mop up? So let's just do a quick mop up for you. We're just doing a very, very brief clearing here on radiation. I had a client, a few clients actually, many, many years ago, who were from the local hospital, or hospitals, should I say, before some of them closed down. Some were midwives, but I also had some that were in the radiographers. And I know it was 1 or 2 of them came to me for sessions. This is before I trained in SRT, and we muscle tested, and they definitely had. I was picking up, they were, even though they took great care of themselves, I think they had lead in the coats that they wore as well, they still had radiation in their system. So it's just, you've got to be so careful, because our biological systems are just not designed for today's world, you know, with all the electrical stuff that we use. So please try and balance it as much as possible by getting out into nature. Also, if your phone is plugged in and it's within about 12 inches of you, something like that, then it's affecting your electrical circuits in your body. So significantly so. So if you're plugging in your phone to recharge it, keep it at a great distance from you. Maybe put it into airplane mode, and yeah, just look after yourselves. Right, are we done? Is there anything else to be done? No, Cecilia Cash at Records. The team's happy with that. Yeah. And what's it running at now? 100 positive, 0 negative. That feels pretty good. It feels a bit lighter. Yeah, so we're done. As always, drink lots of water, rest, allow 3 days for the old neural pathways or anything else to fall away within the body. So particularly, I think in this instance, drinking lots of water to really flush anything through that the body wants to get rid of would be really beneficial. And I'll see you on the next clearing. So much love to you all. Bye.